न भूमिर्न तोयं न तेजो न वायुः न खं नेन्द्रियं वा न तेषां समूहः अनैकान्तिकत्वात् सुषुप्त्येकसिद्धः तदेको वशिष्ठः शिवः केवलोऽहम् तदेको वशिष्ठः शिवः केवलोऽहम्।
ॐ नमः परमर्षिभ्यो नमः परमर्षिभ्यः। हरिः ॐ। उपासकानां यदुपासनीयम् उपात्तवासं वटशाखिमूले तद्धाम दाक्षिण्यजुषा स्वमूर्त्यां जागर्तुचित्ते मम बोधरूपं कलाभिरिन्दोरिव कल्पिताङ्गं मुक्ताकलापैरिव बद्धमूर्तिम् आलोकये देशिकम् अप्रमेयम् अनाद्यविद्यातिमिरप्रभातं स्वदक्षजानुस्थितवामभातं पादोदरालङ्कृतयोगपट्टम् अपस्मृतेः आहितपादमङ्गे प्रणौमि देवं प्रणिधानवन्तं तत्त्वार्थम् अन्ते वसतां ऋषीणां युवापि यः सन् उपदेष्टुमीष्टे प्रणौमि तं प्राक्तनपुण्यजालैः आचार्यम् आश्चर्यगुणाधिवासम् एकेन मुद्रां परशुं करेण च अन्येन मृगं दधानः स्वजानुविन्यस्तकरः पुरस्ताद् आचार्यचूडामणिः आविरस्तु। श्रुत्यर्थगोचरं वन्दे वाच्यार्थानामगोचरं लक्ष्यार्थवपुषं वन्दे शङ्करं देशिकं गुरुं भवयेव भवानिति मे नितरां समजायत चेतसि कौतुकिताम् मम वारय मोहमहाजलधिं भव शङ्करदेशिक मे शरणम्। अपारसच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। करुणापूर्णसुधाब्धे कबलितघनविश्वरूप किरणावल्या अरुणाचलपरमात्मन् अरुणो भव चित्तकञ्ज सुविकासाय। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। काश्यां हि काशते काशी काशी सर्वप्रकाशिकां सा काशी विदिता येन तेन प्राप्ता हि काशिकाम्। मनोनिवृत्तिः परमोपशान्तिः सा तीर्थवर्या मणिकर्णिका च ज्ञानप्रवाहा विमलादिगंगा सा काशिकाहं निजबोधरूप। यस्यामिदं कल्पितमिन्द्रजालं चराचरं भाति मनोविलासं सच्चित्सुखैका परमात्मरूपा सा काशिकाहं निजबोधरूपा। कोशेषु पञ्चस्वधिराजमान बुद्धिर्भवानी प्रतिदेहगेहम् साक्षी शिवः केवल साक्षी शिवः सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा साकाशिकाहं निजबोधरूपा. So we are continuing Sankaracharya's life, Katha, and also the Upadesham along with it. So now we are all in Kāśi Kshetra. Arunachala is Kāśi. All Tirtha Kshetras are here. And yesterday we saw how entering Kāśi, Sankaracharya said, Kāśi means what? That which shines forth. I very much remember one incident where one devotee tells Swami Vivekananda that you are in America, and he said, no, America is in me. So it is only an appearance in me. So everything arises in the self, remains in the self, and merges back in the self. Tvayi arunachala sarvam bhutva sthitva pralinam etat chitram. The greatest wonder is that Arunachala, everything arises in you, remains in you, and merges back in you. But actually, you are shining forth in my heart. Hridi ahamiti nritya sibhoho. You are shining forth in my heart as I am. Te vadanti hridayam nama. Hence, the scriptures has given you the name Hridayam. And Kāśi also, the meaning Sankaracharya gives like that. It's the language of the mystics. In the sense, the mysticism comes from the knowledge of the self, not simply the mysticism of unknowingness. It is the mysticism which comes from the knowledge of the self, because when the whole world, science, everything is proving to you that the world is there, you are born in it, the mystic comes and tells you the world is in you. It appears in you and disappears. The entire cosmos arises, remains, and goes back into that pure consciousness. And you means what? Again the question will come, is it like that this small body is containing the world? No, the body itself is an appearance. To prove this, Vyasa Bhagavan has written the Brahma Sutra, especially the second sutra, Janmadhyasya Yataha. And it is not like science. Science, you prove something, like the earth is global. But it has nothing to do with your life. Science is telling you hydrogen and oxygen makes water, but doesn't make any difference at all for you. It is a fact which has some implication in some scientific work. But in your life, it will not touch you. But when we say everything arises and remains and goes back into Brahman, it is to prove that everything here is Brahman. And by proving that all the duality is removed, attachment and aversion is removed, and true fullness, wholeness is found in life. The purpose is Ananda. Whole search of God or Brahman finds its fruition when the person finds the true bliss, that unshakable peace in his heart. Anando Brahmeti Vyajanat Saisha Bhargavi Varuni Vidya. Here the Vidya comes to an end, fulfillment. Where the disciple declares, I have found Ananda is Brahma. Ananda is my true nature. Bliss or peace is me. It is my real Swarupa. So that makes sense. That is very important for us. Otherwise, what does it matter? Whether it is Brahma or Atma or Jiva or Paramatma, God, it has nothing to do with me. So it is everything for you, because the search is to end Shoka. Shokasya atyanta nivrittihi. Complete cessation of suffering, sorrow, misery, dukkha. That is what all the Shastras are in search of. So we will also, when we are really honest, deeply sincere in our spiritual life, our search also is only for that, not for anything else. People, sometimes they think that they are coming to spiritual life to become famous. It is better that you go and act in a cinema. You will become more famous. Spiritual life is not for name or fame, or not even for health, physical health. It is for you to give you a very deep fulfillment within you, and absolute selflessness, egolessness, where you have same love towards all, no hatred, friendliness with all. This is what Bhagavad Gita tells as bhakti. Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitraha karunayevacha nirmamo nirahankaraha samadukha sukakshami. Bhagavan says, this is my bhakta. The Yoga Sutra says, if you want the mind to be peaceful, you should have this attitude of Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upeksha. You have friendship with those who are all equal, and compassion towards those who are suffering. And when somebody is very well placed in life, you see and be happy, not some burning inside. And someone is incorrigible, hating, giving trouble to others, just ignore, don't think about him. Then your mind will attain peace, calmness, prasannata, chitta prasada, bhavanataha chitta prasadaha. Then the mind becomes peaceful, calm. So this is Yoga Sutra. This Yoga Sutra is applied in Gita also as Bhakti Yogam. The same is applied in Bhagavatam also as Bhakti Yogam. So these are all very important. All this becomes meaningful when you have a higher purpose in life. That is to attain that highest realization, jnanam. So when one attains that jnanam within oneself, then one finds that the entire creation is an appearance in that pure self, pure consciousness, which here Sankaracharya is declaring. And now where is Sankaracharya staying now? Kāśi. Kāśi, which place? Manikarnika. So he is staying in Manikarnika. And there he remarked, how blessed is this Kāśi. Kāśi dhanyatama amimukta nagari salankrita Gangaya. Ganga is like a garland put on Kāśi. And there he wrote this Kāśi-pañchakam. Bhagavan also wrote Arunachala-pañcharatnam. Like that Sankaracharya wrote Kāśi-pañchakam. And he is staying in Manikarnika. He says Manikarnika is not this place. When you withdraw the mind and keep it in the self in absolute meditative poise, the peace that you experience within you, the intellect takes a dip there. That is Manikarnika. Mano nivrittif paramopashantihi. Sa tirthavarya. This is the mystical language which we started saying. Manikarnikacha. Jnana pravaha vimala di Ganga. That primordial Ganga is Jnana pravaha. Constant contemplation on the self. That I am that Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupa. I am Atma. Shuddha Chaitanya. This constant awareness is meditation, is Ganga. And one who is having this in him, he is staying in Kāśi wherever he is. If you are meditating on Arunachala, Smaranad Arunachalam, you recollect Arunachala, wherever you are in Arunachala. You are meditating on the self, I am, who am I? If the enquiry becomes fruitful, wherever you are in Arunachala, you are in Ramanacharana. So, this Bhagavad Pada writes in Kāśi, and there he started his mission of teaching. See, when you put some sweet sugar candy or honey or some payasam somewhere, you need not invite the ants. You need not send WhatsApp message. They just rush there. They just come there. Like that, when the flower blossoms, honeybees, they come. This is the example Ramakrishna gives. So when you truly have something to give, truly the spiritual wealth is there, the seekers who are after this truth, they naturally navigate to that center. So when Sankaracharya started teaching, disciples started flowing. From various places, disciples started finding the teacher, and he was every day speaking on his own anubhuti based on the Upanishads. What the Upanishads are teaching, that Brahma Vidya, Atma Vidya. So every day he is doing that, and in between that Brahmanishta, what is his age now? He is 10 years old, hardly 11 years old. This age he is starting to teach, and he is being looked after very well by elderly sannyasis who were Govinda Bhagavad Pada's disciples. See, that natural beauty is there. No? They were taking care of him, his bhiksha, everything, and he will be walking on the bank of Ganga. Kāśi is the most ancient city in the world, well known since Vedic times. While in Devaprayaga in the Himalayas, Ganga is like a bubbly and vibrant little girl, just dancing. In Kāśi, she appears as a dignified elderly woman. I am reading from Atmatirtham here. If you want, you can read. Like a child seeing its mother, Acharya Pada was delighted to see Ganga. See, this child, 10 years old, has moved away from his mother when he was only 8 years old. So the feeling for mother will be there. Always, about Bharatiyar. Bharati, Subramanya Bharati in Tamil Nadu, he was a great freedom fighter. About his passion to Mother India, somebody has done a good research. where they say he lost his father and mother when he was very young. So that pain was there inside, that fatherly thirst for that motherhood, fatherhood. And he used to cry standing in the streets, Amma, Appa. One day, a sannyasi, his name is Govinda Swami, he came on the street. He took the child in his hand and asked, "Why are you crying?" He said, "Amma, Appa," he was crying. And he must be a great yogi, that Govinda Swami. He said, "You want to see your mother and father? See them in me." Just like Krishna revealed Vishwarupa, like that he said, "You can see your father and mother in me." And the child saw. And now see them in yourself. He sang it. This is a song of Subramanya Bharatiya, where he says about Kullachamiyar and Govinda Swami, two songs. Kullachamiyar is his guru who gave him Upadesha. And this Govinda Swami is another saint. He says, he just, in my sight, he stood there as a colossal figure revealing my mother and father. And then I saw him as God, Ishvara. And that passion was turned towards Bharata Mata. So Bhagavad Pada also we can see that Brahmanishta, that deep love for his own mother, you can see everywhere. Divine Mother, he just melts. Śiva as father, he just melts. So Mata cha Parvati Devi, Pita Devo Maheshwaraha, Bandhavaha, Śiva Bhaktascha, Swadesho Bhuvanatrayam. Wherever I go, I get some mother, I get some father. Somebody is there to look after me. Ishvara is my mother, and Bhagavan, he was also very attached to his mother. But he says, Arunachala is my mother, Arunachala is my father. Ammayum appanum ayanai aakki alittu ammahimayayin aalkadal வீழ்ந்து யான் ஆழ்ந்திடும் முன் என் மனம் மன்னி இழுத்து உன் பதத்தில் இருத்தினையால் சின்மயனாம் அருணாச்சலா நின் அருள் சித்திரமென்னே. Oh, how ineffable is thy grace, O Arunachala. As my mother, as my father, you looked after me, you took care of me. And before I could fall into that sewage of worldliness, you just pulled my mind back and kept it, make it abide in the truth, in the glory of the self-knowledge. Bhagavan is singing. So, Bhagavad Pada, with that fullest realization, he saw Ganga as his mother. Like a child seeing its mother, Acharya Pada was delighted to see Ganga. The intellect which had burnt all the dross of ignorance by the fire of Jnana had an inner need for a healing stream of motherly love. The presence of the Ganga mysteriously released in Acharya a cool, soothing stream of a child's love for its mother. The enlightened sage felt the presence of divine motherliness in the flowing form of that ancient river. And songs after songs came from his heart. Sakala kalusha bhange Swarga sopana sange Tarala taratarange Devi Gange prasida. Sakala kalusha bhange, all the kalusha, dross, flaws of ignorance is removed by that flow of Ganga. You can see Ganga cascading from Shiva's jata. Like that is the Jnani's head also, that Shanti, Bhagavan's presence, also Bhagavan as Shiva, Mahadeva. From his anubhuti, Ganga is flowing, flooding and spreading out everywhere as the peace, as peace. So that is Shiva's Ganga. That is the Ganga in his head. Moon in his head, all cooling mechanism. Tiruvannamalai sings that in the head is moon and there is Ganga, everything very Shitala, very cool. So, Kuto Vici Vicistava Yadi Gata Lochana Patham Tvama Pita Pitambara Puranivasam Vitarasi Tvadutsanghe Gange Patati Yadi Kayastanubhritam Tada Mataha Shatakratava Padalabho Api Atilaghu. Just taking bath in Ganga, he says, let the body fall in these waters. Shatakratava. Shatakratu means Indra. Even the Indra Padavi is Laghu, Ati Laghu. It is nothing compared to this. And looking at the Himalayas, you can see Ganga just flowing like this. Everywhere you can see. You go to Badri, in that road, all the way, the beauty of looking at Ganga is so fascinating. Shailendra Avatarini, she descends from the top of the hill. Nija Jale Majjan Janottarini, Paravara Viharini, Bhavabhaya Shreni Samutsarini, Sheshahe Anukarini. Is a child, He says it looks like Adishesha, like the serpent. Sheshahe Anukarini, Harashiro Valli Dalakarini. From the Shira, from the head of Shiva. Kāśi Pranta Viharini, Vijayate Ganga Manoharini. And here, in the profound teaching of Vedanta, many were coming there. It is like Vriddha Shishya Guru Yuva. Guru is not even a Yuva. He is a boy, Kumara. And so many old people are coming to listen, great scholars are coming to listen. One day while Acharya was giving discourse, a young brahmachari from south, he moved to north in search of truth like Shankara. His name is Sanandana. And this Sanandana is a very beautiful name. Sanantana, Sanatana, Sanat Kumara. So they are all Brahma Kumaras. His name is Sanandana. He went to Bhagavad-pada and did surrender to him because he is in search of truth. He has gone. You should not search for Guru. You should search only for God. Guru will come. If you search for Guru, you will get caught by somebody. You search for truth, truth will send. Patanjali in Yoga Sutra says, Sadashiva Brahmendra Swami says also, very beautiful commentary. When you are in search for truth, Brahmajnana, that Ishvara will come before you, there is a peculiar term in Yoga Sutra, he will take Nirmana Kaya, a manifesting form. In some form he will appear before you, giving you the teaching, by which you will be free. But don't search for a person, search for the truth. The person will come. Somebody will come and guide you. And this disciple came and did namaskara full of tears, because you search for Ishvara, you find him in form. Patanjali in Yoga Sutra calls the Guru Ishvara, he defines as Guru, because something which is visible in form, which gives you the unknowable, the truth, Brahmajnana. So that is, so he appears in that form, and there this Sanandana did a Sashtanga Namaskara and said, Bhagavan, protect me. Swamin namaste nataloka bandho. This is Vivekachudamani Shloka. Just Bhagavad Pada himself pictures it. A disciple goes and does namaskar. You are my relative in this world, Karunya Sindho. You are ocean of compassion. I have fallen in this ocean of samsara. Patitam bhavabdho. Mam uddhara atmiya kataksha drishtya. Save me by casting thy glance that bestows the knowledge of the self. Rijvyati karunya sudha bivrishyam. I have tried my level best to remove samsara, dukkha, durvaram, samsara davagni taptam. My all attempts have failed. Somebody is being taken by a river in spate and he is screaming, yes, rescue me, rescue me. Somebody stands in the banks and says, you swim like this, or put a book, swimming lesson. Will he be able to read it? You need some dynamic action. Somebody has to risk, jump and pull him out. Like that is some situation where you cannot do anything. You need an outer help. Karunya, we call it Karunya. Karunya means dynamic expression of love. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says first is Adveshta, no hatred. That is Vyatireka Bhava, no negativity. Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam. Then Maitri Bhava, a mild kind of friendliness with all. That itself is great. And then Karunya. Karunya is dynamic, involving and helping. That is very rare. Because that is very risky also. Somebody goes and tries to pull someone from the river, both of them goes down. So that is why you need a knack to pull somebody in rushing water. Generally what they will say, you have to catch hold of the hair. That is why they say you should have long hair. If I fall into a river, nobody can rescue. Because you have to pull the hair. That is the easiest thing that can be done. So catch hold of them and rescue them. So this is Karuna. This is Karunya. Durvara samsara davagni taptam. Being burnt by the fire of ignorance, by samsara. Dodhuyamanam, being roasted. Dosha. இந்த பக்கம் போட்டே இருந்தோம். Duradrishtavadaihi, most unexpected turn of events in my life. This is Duradrishtam. Adrishtam means not, without getting any intimation, something happens, good happens. In Tamil they say, oh, Adrishta adichit. But this is Duradrishtam. Not good things that is happening, very bad things, very drastic change happens in life. Duradrishtavadaihi, bhitam, afraid. A wise person becomes afraid of things happening due to ignorance, samsara. He wants to jump out of it. Paripahi mrityoho sharanyam anyadyadaham na jani. I don't find any other refuge. Then that Guru said, Sankaracharya said, my dear child, do not fear. O wise one, do not fear. Ma bhaishta vidvan. Fear not. See, when someone tells you, you will be peaceful. Bhagavan tells Arunachala, tell me once, do not fear. Bhagavan is asking for that. Anjalendre arul Arunachala. When I am suffering in this world, whisper in my ears, fear not. Anjalendre arul Arunachala. So here also, the disciple goes and falls at the feet of the master, and the master tells him, fear not. In Ramayana, when Vibhishana comes to Rama, Rama tells him Abhayam. When Bhagavan was in his last day, a day before Bhagavan's Mahasamadhi, I think, a sub-registrar Narayana Iyer, a very good devotee, he was going in the queue. Suddenly a fear came to his mind. Felt, all these days Bhagavan was here. Whatever problem comes to me, I will go to him and cry. Now what will I do? I don't know what will happen if he vanishes. I could have never imagined this day. He wrote in a paper and put it in Bhagavan's lap. Because you cannot talk to Bhagavan. That was the restriction. He wrote in a paper, Abhayam, Abhayam. Fear, give me refuge. Fearlessness. Bhagavan took it, read it, looked at him and just said yes with shaking his head and then said, it is given. Datta. So, the emotional side of it, that Guru gave Anjal, but that is only bhakti. That is not completely enough. To remove the ignorance, you need the jnanam, by which you will be free eternally. So, I will give you the teaching by which you will yourself cross this ocean of ignorance. Samsara sindhoho tarane asti upayaha. There is good process, method by which you can cross. No danger. Many sages have crossed. You can also cross. Tameva margam tava nirdishami. Asti upayo mahan kasyit. Samsara bhayanashana. This is the declaration of a realized person. Don't fear. There is a supreme path. Mahan upayaha. By which you can erase the fear of ignorance. Tena tirtva bhavam bodhim paramanandam apsyasi. This emotionally thinking, Bhagavan will appear and give me abhayam, that is all in the beginning. Later on, you have to take the responsibility on your head. The real bhakti is to listen to the Guru, take the jnanam and live up by that. That is real bhakti. Otherwise, I will just worship Guru but not listen to him. That is not bhakti. This is deceiving the Guru. Real Guru bhakti is when he gives you the teaching, you have to take the teaching and do not disturb the Guru also. These bhaktas give so much disturbance to Guru. They will say, Guru, I will do this puja, that puja. No? Sheshadri Swami was here. They said, one person took a vow that he will do 108 pot of water abhishekam on Sheshadri Swami's head. This is what bhaktas do. They think Guru will be happy by all these things. Guru will be happy when you do Atma Vichara or Japa or Dhyāna or attaining that knowledge and becoming free. Kanakama used to very often quote that Ujivilodukam, where the disciple attains Jnanam and asks Guru, what should I do? What can I do? And the Guru says, Tirubipakamapo. He said, go without looking back. Remain in that. Abide in that self. That is the greatest upakara that you can do to me. Do not disturb. That is it. So, Bhagavad Pada gave him the teaching, and that Sanandana also attained jnana. And now a very well-known incident in Kāśi. The incident of Chaṇḍāḻa. Chaṇḍāḻa is an outcast. Many great Mahatmas, scholars who have done research on this, they very strongly say that this story of Chaṇḍāḻa coming on the way of Sankaracharya and Sankaracharya telling him move away is completely superimposed on Sankaracharya's head. It is true that Sankaracharya met a great Jivan Mukta in a outcast. He met a Chaṇḍāḻa who was a Jnani. And in that wonder wrote this verse. You look at these shlokas where he says, whether he is Chaṇḍāḻa or Brahmana, who was this Jnana? He is the Guru. This is that verse. Whether he is a Chaṇḍāḻa or Brahmana, one who has this Jnanam is Guru. He deserves to be seen as Guru. He is the greatest teacher who can give you this Jnanam. When you go to a doctor, do you check the caste or religion of a doctor? When somebody is having some cardiac problem, he goes to the cardiologist and asks, is the cardiologist a Brahmana? No, he is a good, best cardiologist. He is a Muslim. No, I don't want. No, because you are looking at what he has, the knowledge, what he can do to you. So, this is the story here. When Sankaracharya was coming from Ganga, after taking bath and coming back, he saw this Chaṇḍāḻa. Chaṇḍāḻa, people think he is a lower caste person. No, that also we have to understand. The Chaṇḍāḻa is an outcast. He is not a lower caste person. He is a person who was either born or outcasted. He was born in a higher caste and got mixed up and did something wrong, because of which he was considered as outcast. And that generation after generation, they used to come in that they used to eat meat, and another name for Chaṇḍāḻa is Shvapacha. Shvapacha means one who cooks and eats dog. So it is all about culture. So that thing, those who are keeping a pure life, they move away from that. But in Kāśi, Sankaracharya saw this wonder. One day after bath, Acharya was walking the Manikarnika, he saw this Chaṇḍāḻa. And the moment Acharya saw him, he found him that he is a Brahmajnani. Now I am turning the whole story in a different way. He saw a Brahmajnani in him. Then Bhagavad-pada chanted the first verse. That verse also both ways. One way, many say that verse was chanted by the Chaṇḍāḻa. And they say in the form of Chaṇḍāḻa, Śiva himself appeared. Of course, a Brahmajnani is Śiva, who is established in Advaita Jnana. Sureshwaracharya says, Śiva eva na samshayaha. The Jnani is Śiva. The first verse is, Kim Gangambuni bimbide ambaramanau Chaṇḍāḻa vāti payah purecha antaramasti kanchana ghati mritkumbhayorvambare Pratyak vastuni nistaranga sahajanandava bodhambudau Viproyam Shvapachoyam ityapimahan koyam vibheda brahma. Those who know the texture of Sankaracharya's language, taste of Sankaracharya's language, they will clearly vouchsafe that this verse is also Sankaracharya's. Very clearly we can see. Because this verse and the continuing Manīshā-pañchakam is of same category. But the story makers are terrible. They can make a lot of stories. About everything they will make. This verse, Manīshā-pañchakam, was born and somebody created a story behind it. Okay, so here the verse says, in Ganga Jala, that sun is reflected. Ambara Mani is sun. It is reflected. And in a very dirty water also sun is reflected. What is the difference? The reflection also is not getting corrupted or polluted. And what to speak about the original sun in the sky, it is not at all touched. So too, the ego in the body, mind. The body is the pot, the mind is the water, and what is reflected inside it as the self-image, I am so and so. This is the reflection. Reflected consciousness. Chidabhasa. Another name for it is Chidabhasa. Chittagada Chit Pradibimba Lakshano Jivaha. In the Chitta, Chit is Pratibimbita, reflected as I am so and so, this reflection. And when the mind is impure, I feel I am impure. When it is pure, I feel I am pure. When there is anger, I feel I am angry. When there is desire, I feel I am desirous, ambitious. So all these thoughts, emotions in the mind, I identify, vritti sarupyam, and say, I am so, I am so, I am so. But the real knower transcends this I thought and looks at the real sun. Pratyag vastuni nistaranga sahajanandavabodham budho. In that pratyag vastu, in the Atma, no taranga. Mind there is taranga. But in the self, in the sakshi, in the witness, there is no taranga. There is only ananda. Ananda samudra. Nishala ananda samudra. When you realize that, viproyam shvapajoyam. Looking at the body, saying he is a Brahmana, he is a Chaṇḍāḻa, this all super ignorance, Mahan Brahma, it all removes, it is all gone. It becomes meaningless. So, the story is, Chaṇḍāḻa asked, whoever said, move away from the road. In Atmatirtham, it is written, somebody is there in the road, he said, move away. Even if you say, Sankaracharya told, it is possible. In Mahatma's life also, sometimes, a little bit of practical things come up. People just think that they do not have any separation. Even the so-called politicians, ministers, everybody, you cannot just go and stay with them. This samatva, equal-sightedness in the world, you can just declare only. The real equal-sightedness, you can see only a Jivan Mukta in his understanding. Vyavahara, it is also not possible. It is not possible. If you go to see some respectable person, you go with a dirty cloth, they will not allow you to enter. So, these kind of practical things will come everywhere. When Swami Vivekananda went to see, was staying in one king's palace, when he was moving about as a bhikshu. One day he will be in the street, another day in a palace also. So he was staying with Khetri Maharaja, who was his disciple. So this Khetri Maharaja's palace, they arranged for a special program to respect Swami. And one girl was about to dance. A small girl. And Swamiji said, what is there for a sannyasi? It is true also. He said, a sannyasi should not look at all these things. He said, you conduct the program. But this girl has come with real devotion. So she felt very bad because she wanted to see Swami there. And she started crying. And she sang a song of Surdas. I think the line is, Prabhuji, aap to Samadarshi ho. He says, oh Lord, you are Samadarshi. I have so many flaws in me, don't look at those flaws. This song she sang. And Swamiji just rushed there, came there and said, you have opened my eyes. Every moment I have been learning to look at the same Atma, same self. At rare moments I just forget. This forgetfulness is also beautiful with Mahatmas. The Chaṇḍāḻa comes, move away. But the Chaṇḍāḻa says, what is the difference between Brahmana and Chaṇḍāḻa? If he is a mere scholar, he will say, shut up, go away. He will say. He will say. And there are incidents also, many incidents like that. Don't try to teach me. You can say, very easily close the chapter there. But that next moment Sankaracharya says, that knower of Brahman, who has realized his own self as Brahman, who is the witness to waking state, dream state and deep sleep state, Jagrat, Swapana and Sushupti, that Atma has his own real nature, whether he is a Chaṇḍāḻa or Brahmana, Guru, he is not says he is a good person or anything, he is not says he is a human being. Generally people say, no, he says he should be considered as a Guru. Jagrat Swapana Sushuptishu Sputatara Ya Samvidujrumbhate Ya Brahmadi Pipīlikānta Tanushu Prota Jagat Sakshini Saivaham Nacha Drishyavastu Iti Dridhaprajñāpi Yasyāsti Chet Chaṇḍāళostu Satudvijostu Guruhu Ityesha Manīshā Mama. This is the declaration of that great teacher. Not one place or another. Even Vivek Chudamani now, she sang the song Jati Niti Kula Gotra Duragam Nama Rupa Gunadosha Varjitam Deshakala Vishayati Vartiyat Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. You are that Atman. Meditate on that which is absolutely free of Jati, Niti, Kula, Gotra, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Dosha. Not only that, Desha, Kala, everything appears and disappears. The self is always there as Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Swabhava. So that Atma, that Brahma, that is me. Tektva Jatyādi Sambandham Sarvam Shuddham Prapadyata, he says. So for a knower, jnani, it is. But it is not for Vyavahara. It is not for Vyavahara. For sannyasis also, when they move about, they can take bhiksha anywhere. Shastra itself prescribes. But avigarhyam, if they are eating non-vegetarian, you cannot take. Buddhists, that is how Buddha Mata became non-vegetarian eaters. You can take bhiksha anywhere. So whatever they give, eat. Then you go down. Sri Lanka is full of like that. So, avigarhyam. Our Mathur Swami here, when sadhu used to move about in everywhere as parivrajaka, he said, I will take food anywhere, but he will take only simple rice, not even salt, no curry, nothing. He will take rice anywhere, cooked rice. I asked him, how will you eat? He said, we are giving such rice to crow. Every day crow is fed. Crows are fed with mere rice. You don't think about whether they need curry or anything. Like that. I will take just for hunger. Avigarhyam. So things which are not Shastra Nishiddha. So that kind of. So this knowledge of the self is for keeping you pure. We are not here searching for a method by which you can change the society. No. We are searching for the truth that is within us, which will make us find the absolute. So that is it. So, you should not have any aversion to anybody, not considering this person as impure, this person as pure, because the mind will start moving like that. The yoga sthiti will be disturbed. Constantly thinking this man, that man, not only that somebody you don't like, the moment you think about them, the mind is disturbed. All these places you can apply this, that within everyone the same God is there. Same Bhagavan is there within all. Whether it's a good person or bad person, that bad person is doing those things prompted by Bhagavan from within, but I need not go near him. You can just remove him from your mind. You can absorb his vibrant presence in your mind by this knowledge of Advaita Jnana. So Advaita Jnana is a Yoga Jnana. It is not simply philosophy. It is a process of yoga by which you can absorb some negative emotion, assimilate it, digest it. When it appears in your mind, you say it is Narayana. Bhagavata says, Upadravanasha. Bhagavata says this is like an armor, kavacha. You put this armor, no negativity affects you. You see something negative, you tell it is Narayana who is appearing in that form. No hatred, no fear, no negativity. Even the thoughts that appear in your mind, you tell it is Brahma. Waves after waves are arising in the ocean of Brahman. They are all waves, bubbles, ripples. Everything is nothing but that water. And water is pure consciousness. Chit Salilam. One who realizes this, that I am that self which is same in the waking, dream and deep sleep. And one who beholds the same self right from Brahma to a small ant. Pipilika means a ant. To the smallest living organism, you can say. From there up to the greatest God, the same Atma is shining forth. One who is ready to look at it, and one who realizes I am that Brahman, Dridha Prajñāpi yasyasti chet, firm knowledge of that self. What does it matter whether he is a Chaṇḍāḻa or Brahmana or some other country is born? Even sometimes animals, they can become Brahmajnani. Bhagavan says, cow Lakshmi, go Lakshmi, she became enlightened, vimukta. In Yoga Vasishta, there is a story, one Rakshasi, she is called Karkati. Karkati Vanamarkati. And she wanted to crucify everybody. Enter everybody's body and eat them. So she did tapasya. Great austerity. And she said, give me a varam, boon. And Brahma asked, what boon? I want to become coronavirus. Exactly. She is asking to become a Vishuchika. Suchika means needle. Vishuchika means epidemic. It is a pandemic. It can enter every body like a needle and give them trouble. And she gave trouble to everybody according to their karma. Everybody started sneezing, coughing, or trouble. Everything they suffered. After some days she got bored. I am giving trouble to so many people. She said, I don't want this. Then she started doing tapasya again and did tapasya. At last she became a Brahmajnani. So much hope is there. Even a worse person can become a realized soul. There is no question of no hope state. The worst sinner, apichet suduracharaha, bhajate mam ananyabhat, sadhureva samantavyaha. Even a durachari, a very, very fallen person, even if he starts worshipping me, he will become a saint. He should be considered as a saint. He becomes adorable, worshipful. So, Jagrat Swapana Sushuptishu Sputatara Ya Samvidujrumbate Ya Brahmadi Pipilikanta Tanushuprota Jagat Sakshini Saivaham, I am that pure awareness. Nachadrishya Vastu, I am not these objects of perception. One who has this firm experience, realization, whether he is a Brahmana or whether he is a Kshatriya or whether he is a Vaishya or whether he is a Shudra or whether he is a Chaṇḍāḻa or whether he is any kind of caste, religion or man or woman or both. Guru, because we are not searching for the limitation of the upadhi, one who has realized this self is important to us. We want this. See, somebody is a very good person, no use spiritually. He is a good person, very good person. Goodness is there, happy, that's all. He cannot receive. See, I want a good person as a doctor. No. Doctor has to do surgery. He will ask money, everything. That is a different thing. But we are here looking for a doctor who is skillful to rescue you. Doctor is good, that is his own personal thing. He is a good person, that is his personal life. But here, spirituality is not simply goodness. Goodness is there. But more than goodness is the knowledge of the Supreme. More than these outer things like caste or creed or outer culture. Somebody asked a few days before, how much importance is there for culture in spiritual life? Culture in the sense of spiritual culture, like no hatred, as we said, compassion, friendliness, they are true culture. That is real dharma. That is very important as a patram. But culture in the sense, this kind of dress, this way one has to behave in this country, all these things can differ. That can differ. But above all, we are not talking about these things. We are not denying or accepting these things. We are here concerned about Brahma Jnana, Atma Jnana. When people come to Ramana Maharshi, they did not come to see a good person. Good person you can see everywhere. When they came to a sage who is abiding in that highest state. Not to wonder, but to get that knowledge from him. So that you can also abide there. You can also become free. Not simply to worship him. Just to put Bhagavan's name in your daughter's wedding invitation. No. All cheap things we will do easily. Keep a photo of Bhagavan, that's all. It's all okay. It's all good. Devotion. But that is not Bhagavan. Bhagavan is your own self. When you know yourself, your knowledge is firm in your heart. You need not even speak about Bhagavan. That knowledge is Bhagavan. That jnanam is Bhagavan. That anubhuti is Bhagavan. So here, that is what was shining before Sankaracharya in the form of that person. See, that person was in dirty rags, stinking. Just imagine. The security himself will say no in a temple or in an ashram. Yesterday, one devotee was here. He walked entire India without money, without telephone, anything. He just walked from Tiruvannamalai, he went to Kerala. From Kerala, he went up to Kashmir. He wanted to go, but he went up to Badri. But he was saying, he got accommodation. Where did he get? He will get accommodation in some very small shop, or some cycle repairing shop, or some petrol bunk only. No ashram gave him accommodation, no temple. They will ask for credential. Because everybody is afraid. Everybody is afraid. We do not know who he is. Very rarely were some of the ashrams like Ananda Ashram, somewhere in Sringeri also, somewhere devotees arranged. So he got accommodation there. But otherwise, people are same everywhere. But these shop owners, the small shop owners, he said, very touching incident, a small, what we call patikade, small shop person, he said, Swami, you can stay in this shop, tomorrow morning I will come. He just open, because he has nothing to lose. That is the beauty of aparigraha dharma. Only when you do not own anything, you can see the same everywhere. You can move freely with everywhere. You have something to lose. You have wealth, treasure, money with you. Then every second person is a thief. That is the problem. So not easy. That is why the sannyasa is recommended. And sannyasi also ashrama, no ashrama gave him accommodation. So that is not a sannyasa. This is very difficult. When we see the practical application of this, Sarva Samabhava is not that easy. So, Chaṇḍālostu sadudvijostu gururityesha Manīshā mama. This first shloka gives the Mahavakyartha. The Prajnanam Brahma. The pure consciousness is Brahman. That is self. And when you know that self, you see the self is same in waking, dream and deep sleep. And seeing this Chaṇḍāḻa, Bhagavad Pada sang these 5 verses. These 5 verses are called Manīshā-pañchakam. These 5 verses, they just reveal the knowledge of the self and also tells that you can find a realized person, an illumined sage, anywhere. The same item, Yoga Vasishta says, if you find a Jivan Mukta in a Chaṇḍāḻa Viti, go to him with a begging bowl. Varam Sharavahastasya Chaṇḍāళāgāra Vitishu Bhikshartamatanam Rama Na Maurkya Hata Jivitam. Don't become a fool, a murkha. When you see an illumined sage in whatever caste or creed or anywhere, go to him with all respect, with all devotion. Surrender and take this knowledge. So, Chaṇḍālostu sadudvijostu. Chaṇḍāla means not a caste, that we have to know actually. It is not about caste. It is about complete dirty, uncultured person who dare to cross all the borders of ethics. Such a person is kept out in a society, and such people collect together, just like it is happening now also in various forms. In their lineage somebody is born. These things, you drive the disease from head, it will go to feet. From feet you drive it, it will go to head. Like that, you want to change the society, your very trial will create another trouble in the society. That is the problem. So, know the truth, become free yourself, you find it inside you, that's all. Bhagavan never opposed anything. He never said this is right, this is wrong. No. He just remained as the ideal. You can see. That's become free. So, Brahmaivahamidam jagatcha sakalam chinmatra vistaritam. This is the knowledge of the knower. I am Brahman. This entire world is filled with that light. If you see anything other than Brahman, avidyaya ashesham maya kalpitam. It is all avidya, it is all ignorance. Due to ignorance, I say this is a man, this is a woman, this is a Chaṇḍāḻa, this is a Brahmana, this is tree, this is wood, this is house. Oh, this is not needed to the Vyavahara. It is needed, but let it remain there. Why do you take it inside and create trouble to you? Itham yasya dridāmatihi. One who has this firm awareness, Sukhatare nitye pare nirmale, in that absolute bliss. Chaṇḍālostu, Chaṇḍālostu, Sadudvijostu. Let him be Chaṇḍāḻa or Brahmana. Guruhu iti esha Manīshā. This is my firm opinion. The knower of Brahman is a Guru. So we will continue this Manīshā-pañchakam from where we leave today. We will continue meditating on these 5 verses, and again in Kāśi we have to see many other places. So Sanandana and other disciples observed the 3 days of absolute meditation. After the vision of that Chaṇḍāḻa, the incident might have happened like this. Sankaracharya was moving on the bank of Ganga. He saw this Chaṇḍāḻa, and he was absolutely dirty, stinking with rags, and added to it 4 dogs with him. Any person who has some idea of cleanliness will drive him away. No place you will allow such a person to stay. When Swami used to come to Ramanacharanatirtha few years back, he became very famous because Tiruvannamalai, such people will become very famous, and he used to do all kind of dirty things. And sometimes he used to beat also people. Somebody is meditating, he will give a hit from behind. You have to take that is anugraha. So everybody, it will not be possible. So such things will happen around here. So we do not know whether he is an illumined sage or a mad person. That is the case in Tiruvannamalai. Such things will happen. So this Chaṇḍāḻa came like that. Suddenly you can see sometimes, in such garb, you can see an illumined sage. And Bhagavad-Pada looked at him and understood. Not only that, seeing such a manifestation, mighty manifestation. When Bhagavan was here, Narayana Guru from Kerala came. He was a great sage. He met Bhagavan in his Skandashram. And he looked at Bhagavan, he was awestruck. He didn't talk. Bhagavan also didn't speak. He just sat under that mango tree and entered in a kind of samadhi state and wrote some verses, 5 verses, Nirvriti-pañchakam, the state of absolute freedom. When going down, he told his disciple, Rajasarpam. He said, Rajasarpam means king cobra. It has to just hiss from a distance. That's all. He is a Rajasarpam. He said about Bhagavan as Rajasarpam. Like that, Bhagavad-Pada met some Rajasarpam in Kāśi. But we do not know what that Rajasarpam is. We make a funny caricature out of it. That is how the story all turned in a different form. Bhagavad-Pada met such a great jnani on the bank of Ganga, in the street of Kāśi. That is why he said, Kāśi dhanyatama. This Kāśi is so blessed, so sacred, because in the street of Kāśi you do not know where you will meet a Jivan Mukta, a realized person. Ganeshana used to say, he used to wander in Kāśi like a mad person. He had a kind of state. He stayed there for 9 months. So one day he said, he was moving in Kāśi, suddenly he found people all moving to sides and one person absolutely naked. But Ganeshana says he was so radiant, like gold, shining. He came to him and said, in English, he said, have you read Bhagavad Gita? When you read Gita, don't read Gita from the standpoint of Arjuna. Read it from the standpoint of Krishna. Saying this, he went. So such things happen, no? Tiruvannamalai also such meetings happen. Here, there, you come in contact with some great being. So like that, Sankaracharya saw this great being and came back and entered into a kind of absolute samadhi. 2-3 days. When he woke up from that state, he wrote these 5 verses. These 5 verses was given to Sanandana. Sanandana felt that a stream of divine plan of action had possessed the mind of the Brahmanishta. The strange thing is, after this meeting, there was a most unexpected turn. Sankaracharya met another Jivan Mukta Jnani, but suddenly, after these 2-3 days of meditation, a new stream of mission just was born. A kind of movement has to happen from here now. Acharya did not reveal what it was, but Sanandana smelt it. He observed his daily rituals of Ganga Snana, Vishwanatha Darshana as usual. They took their bhiksha. Everything happened normal. And one day, they had another beautiful meeting that we will see tomorrow. We will continue tomorrow this Sankaracharya Charitra. Arunachala Śiva, Arunachala Śiva, Arunachala Śiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Śiva, Arunachala Śiva, Arunachala.